Hello, good evening from Indonesia. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. I've seen familiar names, okay, participants from around the world. Thank you for joining once again. Okay, kind of let us know where you're joining from, and also you might want to also share what you do in education. Are you a teacher? Are you a teacher trainer? Academic manager? Head of department? Okay. Thank you. Teacher trainer, we have Clement. Thank you for joining me. And we also have Michael. Thank you. It's nice to see you joining. And I see some other familiar names. Awesome. Yes, hi, Clement. Thank you. Okay, I think we can start, Winnie.
Hi, sure, let's get started. I will share my slides first. So give me a minute. Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm and welcome to all participants today. Let me do a quick introduction. So I'm one of the advisory member from Singapore Educators Network, and we're very happy today to be able to host the Teacher Meets Tech session with Mr. Fajar here, who is an English language teacher but also an educational technology practitioner. Um, his session today will focus on enhancing language learning with and I myself am very excited to hear some of the things that he will be sharing with us because as a current teacher myself and an IBAN workshop facilitator, I understand the importance of being able to keep myself up to date with what's happening around, and AI is definitely something that we would need to keep our eyes on and be familiar with in the years to come. So, started, let me do a proper welcome to everyone. Some of you would have probably found out about today's session through the Singapore Education Network, while others might have joined us through different channels. So I represent Singapore Education Network. And so who are we? You know, we are actually a regional alliance of 3,000 plus teachers and also education professionals and organization in Singapore, Asia, and beyond. Um, I personally joined Singapore Education Network a few years back with a very clear purpose in mind, and that is to get to know more teachers and educators and also professionals in the education industry through this platform and hopefully see a strong supportive community being built that goes beyond borders. So Singapore Education Network looks at becoming a community builder for the education sector. And the other thing that really interests me a lot is also the various training opportunities that is being offered. And that is why I love the motto that we have, which is to share, to learn, and to collaborate. Now, the session that we are having today is part of our Teacher Skills Network workshops, which we organize regularly, that is available for anyone on our network to participate. And the Teacher Skills Network basically is a community of teachers, educators, lecturers, and also professionals from Singapore, Asia, and beyond, looking to provide and attend free, whether virtual. So I'm part of the Educators Advisory Group, and we are constantly on the lookout for various collaboration opportunities and also for good workshop that we could put through our platform to our community. We have a very unique system where we have workshop voting so that you, as part of the community, have a voice to let us know what you're interested in. Now, so today's session would be part of what we are offering. And just to highlight that there's actually a certificate of participation that's optional. So if you're interested, do scan the QR code that you see on screen now. This will be shared again at the end of the session. I see Fajar is back, so I am going to stop sharing and we will officially welcome him to start today's session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Winnie, for the welcoming speech and also introducing me. Really lovely. And hello again, teachers, educators from around the world. Finally, if you haven't, let us know where you're joining from, what do you do in education. Okay, so I'll start sharing my screen. I hope it works smoothly. Okay, so again, welcome, teachers. A little housekeeping. This session is scheduled for 75 minutes. So let's say it's 7, it should finish at 7:15 Jakarta time or 8:15 Singapore time or in your time. But we might have a little bit more discussion later at our discussion session. During the presentation, you are very welcome to keep the chat alive, okay, with your questions, ideas, and so on and so on. However, while the presentation is running, you are unable to unmute yourself and also start your video. So kindly bear with me, but please share your ideas, question, thoughts in the Zoom chat, okay? Well, though Winnie has introduced me, I would like to tell a little bit about myself. You can just call me Fajar. I put teacher Fajar in my Zoom name because that's how my students and colleagues address me here in Indonesia and some other countries. But my full name is Fajaruddin Akbar, but feel free to just call me Fajar or Fajar. I'm an English language teacher, educational technology practitioner. Well, I teach mostly English for academic and business purposes, exam preparations. I also train teachers how to use mostly technology to enhance language learning and also teaching. Okay, you can pretty much search for me on Google or even ask ChatGPT. But today we're not going to talk about me. Okay, we're going to talk about how we can enhance language learning with AI. So we'll do this together. Okay, so it's not just me telling you, but we'll figure out together how we can do this. Okay, well, I might say this session is for beginners. So if you're not a beginner, kindly hold yourself from asking difficult questions. You're kidding though, but you can pretty much share your ideas. I have seen familiar names, great names in the field. So kindly also help me in this session. Okay, right. Before we start with playing with AI tools, which what we'll do mostly in this session, I would like to be more aware of safeguarding students in using AI. We need to know that there are ethical use that we are trying our best to enforce in this innovation. Okay? As example, we need to be aware, we must be aware that some tools like ChatGPT requires children or individuals to be at least 18 to 13 to 18. So it depends on your regulation in your respective country, and they might need parental consent. Okay, you will get this slide, so you will also be able to review this. But this is what I want everyone to be aware before we actually explore and experiment with AI tools, especially if we are doing this in the classroom involving students. Okay, and a little bit of disclaimer. This presentation demonstrates AI tools. We're going to see a lot of AI tools strictly for educational purposes. Okay, so I'm not here to promote this app or that app, so you need to buy or subscribe. Well, you're on your own, but the sole goal of this session is to see again how we can enhance learning outcomes and bring benefits to education. So let's save our students in using AI, safeguard them, I mean, and also, be sure that we use these tools 100%, or let's say try our best to benefit education instead of promoting technology as technology, because I'm a teacher. Okay? Before we're going to experiment with this, we're going to play an experiment. Before that, I think it will be fun to have poll. Okay? So we're going to play a little bit of Slido. Okay? Let me share the link in the chat so you can just click the link and then you can answer this question. Or if you cannot join the Slido, no worries. You can just put your answer in the chat. Very simple answer. Very simple question. What AI tools have you used? I would like to see what is the most popular ones. Okay, so you can Gemini, awesome. Yeah, you can click the link in the chat or just answer it in the Zoom chat. Okay, if you cannot join the Slido. Okay, ChatGPT DS. I don't think I've heard it. Okay, Clint, Notebook LM, Gemini. Okay, so turns out ChatGPT has a big competitor now. I remember the last time I had this session, it's always ChatGPT, the biggest one. But okay, now Gemini is catching up fast, along with Copilot. Grok. Some countries have banned Grok, including Indonesia. We're not going to talk about it, but okay. So we have Mitra, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Copilot. Yes, you can put as many tools as you want. The one that you have used. Okay, ChatGPT is still the most popular one. Okay, we have 15 people joining the poll, but we have like 37 participants. Okay, we have Gemini, ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity. Thank you very much. Keep it coming, keep it coming. So we'll see which that I need or I can discuss, explore, and which that I don't need to. Okay. DeepSeek, yeah. Well, Banana, well, it's part of it's part of Gemini. Magic School, yeah, it's a nice one. And Puzzle, yeah, Puzzle has AI now. Brisk, okay, keep it coming. And I see participants joining. Again, I put the link in the chat so you can join the Slido. Okay, more and more teachers are more aware with more tools. Okay, I see. So we have Notebook LM here. Text to text, video, image. Okay, Gamma, Word Pixar Bot. Oh, I will try to search for this one. I've never heard of it. Okay, ChatGPT. Okay, all right. So it turns out ChatGPT and Gemini are our most popular AI tools for now. Okay, you can keep it coming, but let's move on. Yeah, Canva has AI now. Thank you. So let's move on to the next question. Do not leave the Slido if you are in the Slido. If you cannot join, just answer me in the Zoom chat. Now you have mentioned various tools. I would like to know from you, how have you used it? How have you used these tools, these AI power tools or AI integrated tools? So how have you used it? Okay. Try to describe it. No worries, you will not see your names on the Slido. Lesson planning, make presentations, okay, automations, augmentations, set exams, lesson planning. Okay, worksheet. Okay, please keep it coming, everyone, teachers, because, well, in my experience having these sessions, it turns out that we can learn more from each other. Okay, and maybe you also want to share your best prompt or the strategy in prompting. Write emails, communication, making slides quickly. Okay, we have DeepSeek. Okay, you can start sharing like how have you used these AI tools. Refine student reports, lesson planning. Okay, plan activities, grammar, vocabulary, amazing. Okay, so we have 3 emails, 3 activity, idea, cool. Rubrics creating. Well, you have known a lot, so I think the session is done. Okay, thank you for sharing. You can keep it coming. I'm too harsh on my student by doing, oh, okay, that's a nice prompt starter. Okay, am I too harsh on my student by doing something? Thank you for sharing it. with us. Cite sources. You might want to recheck it. Okay, conversation with someone. Okay, getting information. Yeah, you can. Well, AI now is very good at curating information, but I would recommend rechecking or fact check with sources. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. You can keep it coming. We might get back to that Slido later. So, but you can also come back to my screen. Okay, and we'll start with our exploration. Okay, so we'll start with say what you say. This is an interesting experiment. We're going to do this together. I will send the link in the chat. So maybe you want to try it right now with me, but if you cannot, you can just, do it with me together. Okay. Have you heard of this one? Have you heard of say what you say? This is from Google. It's an experiment. You can say yes or no in the chat. No? It's all right. That's why you're here. Okay, good. More no's. I'm getting confident now. Okay, thank you. So you can keep it coming. So say what you see is an experiment by Google where it actually is related to prompting. So we're going to learn how to prompt. What is prompt? Okay. I cannot answer your question for now, Dr. Henny. So, okay. So please keep it relevant to the presentation. Okay. So I'm going to launch the experiment, but let's say we want to do it right now. Okay, you're on your phone. Oh, sorry, you're on your computer, and then you can open another browser. Okay, you can just click that link and it will direct you to this website. Okay, I'm going to launch the experiment, and then this is what you will see. And what we will do is to say what we see. Are you ready to learn the art of prompting? Well, I'm an English teacher. Once again, I teach English, I teach English writing, and I like doing this with my students every time I have a session on writing. Whether it's academic writing, writing for IELTS, writing for TOEFL, this is a good warm-up, okay? So I'm going to start with level 1, and here we have an example, okay? You see, here we have an example of an image, and we have include information about the medium, subject, and context. Painting of a dog in a field. Okay. Simply, what we do here is to prompt or to write a prompt or describe the image as a prompt. Okay, let's begin. Okay, so you see here an abstract image on the left. Okay, an abstract image on the left. What we need to do is to describe this image. So kindly help me what we can write to describe this image. Remember, a description, not only like a word or 2 words. Make it a complete description. It needs a subject, it needs a context. Okay. Would you like to try? And I will copy your answer in this box. Okay, so describe this image. Okay, we have 45 participants. And let's see who can describe this image. Okay, thank you, Hasif. A gradient of colors shifting from peach at the bottom to green at the top. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Let's see if we have more description. A multicolored canvas. I think we can be more, details, like what are the colors? Okay, how many? Okay, a box with 2 colors, green on top and pink at the bottom, with 2 colors mixing somewhere midway. Okay, it's a good one. 2-color background transitioning from bright green to pink. A dog sitting in an open field. Okay, it might be the previous slide. Okay, and the previous picture. Now we're focusing on this one. Okay, so I'm going to pick our first description. Thank you to Hasib Iqbal, and see if we can generate a similar image. Okay, so I paste the description and then I click generate, and it will generate an image. It turns out that, okay. Oh, it's an error install. Let's try again. Seward. Okay. Let's try another one. Okay, let's try from Fina here. Okay. Too bad, guys. Technology. I will try to refresh it first. But can you try to let me know like what you think will happen in this experiment? Okay, wait up. Okay. So are you opening this experiment right now? Oh my goodness, I think it's overloaded. Okay, it's overloaded. So let me just tell you the goal. Okay, let me just tell you the goal. So the goal of the activity is that we need to generate a similar image to the image that we see. Okay, to the image that we see. Now, if I open, okay, Gemini, this example, and then again, I will copy one of your description here. I will start with create an image and then a box with two colors, green on top, okay, and then I submit it. The goal is that the activity of the goal, the goal of the activity is that we want to create a similar image as what we see, as shown. Okay, so this is an activity that I have been doing with my students to see if they can actually put what they have in their mind into words, okay, and see if we can get that image. Okay, so yeah, what we can learn from this activity is how fluent we are in actually simulating our idea, which is related to prompting. Okay, which is related to prompting. The way that we prompt AI chatbots is how we can describe what we have in our mind, in our idea, in order to get the best output possible. Okay, so that's the goal of the activity. You can very much use this activity with different images. It doesn't have to be say what you see. You can try to search for images on Google, or you can create your own image and then ask your students to go to an AI to describe the image and see if they can get the same image as they see. Okay, that's one activity that you can do, which is to see how we can actually, how fluent we are in describing our idea. Okay, so before moving on to the next slide, you will also get this interactive infographic, okay, which you can access now. So this infographic explains the flow of my presentation today. So I'm not going to fully lecturing on slides. We're going to take a look at different tools and practical ideas. Okay, you can later follow up with this infographic. Okay, so that's say what you see. Okay, I hope that you can work with it later. Now, we're moving on to a tool that I would like to promote as a GSE ambassador. How familiar are you, or are you familiar? This is what I got using. Oh, that's pretty good, Clement. That's perfect. That's perfect. That's a similar, even the exact same image. Thank you. Now let's move on to another one. So this is no AI, but we will use this, okay, to drive AI chatbot. So are you familiar with the GSA? An extension of CFR. Thank you, Hamid. Thank you, Hamid. Yes. So how about the others? Are you familiar with the GSE? Yes or no? Or can you tell like what does GSE stand for? This is an amazing tool in my view for teachers, especially English teachers or language teachers in general. Global Scale of English, thank you. How about the others? How many participants today are familiar with the GSA? You can just say yes or no. No, glad you're here. No, all right. I learned it from you. Thank you, Plyman. Glad to hear. And then we're going to explore more. Okay, and you can also share your idea, Clement. Learn it together. Good. Glad you're here, so I can show you the GSE Teacher Toolkit. Okay, later, if you get my slide, you can just click this and it will direct you to the website. Okay, so a little bit about the GSE. GSE stands for Global Scale of English. So Global Scale of English is an extension of the CEFR, the CEFR, the Common European Framework Reference. However, the GSE is specifically made and developed for English because it's a global scale of English. We do have global scale of language for other European languages, but for the GSE, it's specifically made and developed for English. Okay, and the GSE has GSE Teacher Toolkit. So what we can do in the GSE Teacher Toolkit is we can search for learning objectives. So this will be the drive for our AI activities. Okay. So what you can do with the GSE Teacher Toolkit is that you can find 4 learning objectives suitable for your students. Okay. So let's say the CEFR, as we know, has A1 to C2. In the GSE, we have 10 to 90. Okay, so that's the scale. CFR has A1 to C2, GSA 10 to 90. So you see the equivalent. So what we can search in this tool is that we can choose for learners. Okay, please say yes if you teach English, because this will be an amazing tool for you. Especially, well, if you teach English, if you design curriculum for English education, this is an important tool for you. So here in Choose Learner, you can choose who your learners are. We have adult learners, professional learners, young learners, okay? Well, we have a lot of curriculum design for primary learners, for young learners, but how about adult learners? How about professional learners, okay? So I will go for professional learners. And then after you choose who you are teaching, you can choose the skill that you want to teach. Okay, so what objectives that you want to aim for your students? Okay, so we have language skills, basic, listening, reading, speaking, writing. Okay, the 4 language skills. We have business skills because this is professional learners. So you teach English for English for business, you teach English for specific purposes. You can find your students' profession. Okay, well, I'll make it personal. Okay, myself. So I have a student who works with customers, so I can choose customers, right? So I would like to know what objectives that I can find or what I can aim for my students in terms of dealing with customers, and I'll click choose. Okay, and then you can also choose for job roles. Okay, well, because my students deals with customer, so well, my students are in sales related. So we have sales representative, wholesale, and manufacturing. Okay, can choose this one. So we have chosen the skill, which is dealing with customers. We have chosen the job role, which is sales related. Now we can click show results. And then you can find learning objectives. So, okay, so we have these learning objectives for B1 in CFR or 48 in GSA. So, can understand the main points of feedback from clients and colleagues if delivered slowly and clearly. Okay, so this is learning objectives that I can use to design my lesson. Okay, so by the end of this lesson, my students will be able to do this. Okay, because my students deal with customers, my students are in sales. Okay, oh, there also this one can understand advice and instructions for resolving a problem. Okay, these can be learning objectives that I can use. Okay, so there are learning objectives that you can use to design your lesson curriculum. Okay, well, this is too specific. Let's make it a bit general. Okay, let's go with adult learners for now, and then let's go with something that is again more universal. Okay, I would like to generate a lesson using AI, okay, which is reading. I want to make my reading lesson more authentic. Okay, I want to generate my own reading text because sometimes using authentic reading can be, too difficult higher than my students' level. So I'll go with reading for now. Okay, and then my students are between A2 to B1. Okay, A2 to B1. And then you click show results. Okay, so we have 56 learning objectives that you can use to design your lesson for reading. Okay, at A2, so starting from A2 and so on, because I, set it from A2 to B1. Okay, I'll just pick the first one. So we have this, can understand simple descriptions of people's physical appearance. Okay, that's pretty basic, right? For A2 level. Can understand simple safety instructions with visual support. This is a good one. And if you notice, you see here job profile. So every learning objectives, some learning objectives or many learning objectives from the GSE also come with job profile. So what jobs can benefit from these learning objectives? Okay, so I will go with this for now. I will copy this learning objectives along with the skill and then the GSA and the CFR. Okay, and then I'll copy it. Okay, and then we move on to the tool that we know, which is ChatGPT. Okay, is this GSE free? Absolutely, GSE is totally free. Okay, most of the tools that I show today are free. Okay, maybe there will be like options to subscribe, but you can use it for free with some limitation. But for the GSE Teacher Toolkit, it's completely free. You don't need an account or anything. Okay, you can just go on and use the tool. Now I'll go to ChatGPT, which I believe you're familiar with. And I would like you to know that this idea is, replicable to any AI chatbot that you like, your favorite AI chatbot. ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, DeepSeek, Grok, and so on and so on. Okay, it's just that the idea. Okay, it's not about the tool. It's not about ChatGPT. It's about the idea that we are going to explore together. So let's say I'm going to prompt ChatGPT. I will use iterative prompting. Well, let's say yes or no if you are familiar with, iterative prompting. So I copy this learning objectives to ChatGPT, but of course I will not only put that, I will add more detail. So this is reading, and then this is for GSE 30, CFR A2. Okay. Right, and I will add a prompt. Okay. Well, let's say we'll start with something very practical. Okay, because we know that we would like to create authentic reading material. So I'll just let ChatGPT knows that I want a reading text. Okay, create a reading text, okay, for English lesson following this learning objective. Okay, well, you can be very creative with your own prompt. However, what I'm showing here is how you can use the learning objectives, okay, the learning objectives to drive the output of the AI chatbot. Okay, let's see. I'm using ChatGPT Go, if you're familiar with Go, but this is, replicable with free ChatGPT. Okay, so here we have A2 level reading text aligned with objective and level. Title safety rules in the school science lab. Okay, because that's what it says. Understand simple safety instructions with visual support. Okay, so here we have today our class is working in the science lab. Before we start, teacher show us some safety signs, give us simple instruction. First, we must wear lab and coat on and so on. So, of course, this is what you want to be concerned with. You want to see if the output actually follows the learning objectives. And you know the output that you are expecting for. You're expecting for an output that follow the learning objectives. Okay? And then now you can continue. As example, create a reading comprehension question. Okay, create a reading comprehension worksheet following the learning objective. Okay, and then here you have like basic comprehension questions for reading. Okay, again, you want to be concerned with whether the output or the generated content follows the learning objective. And now you know what you can expect. Okay, so the idea of using the GSA learning objective is that we know the output. Okay, we can expect for the output. Okay, again, the GSA Teacher Toolkit is free. Not only learning objectives, you can also check for grammar. Okay, so as example, what grammar or language points that you want to teach. As example, I want to teach clauses. Okay, so I would like to teach conditional. Okay, choose, and then you can show results. And then you can say learning objectives, like grammar learning objectives. Okay, and what's great about it is that you can find for this one. Okay, you can click this and then you can get free worksheets. Okay, let me repeat that. Free worksheets by Pearson. Okay, so you can get this. They're free. But again, you might want to be more authentic with your lesson, and then you can just copy the learning objectives and go to ChatGPT or any AI chatbots that you like. Okay, so that's grammar. You can also get it for vocabulary, like what vocabulary that you can teach in terms of the learners, and then the levels, the category, and so on and so on. Okay, again, this is free. You don't need any account. You can visit it anytime. Okay, on your phone or on your laptop or computer. It also comes with text analyzer. Okay, well, let's say you generate a text using ChatGPT, and then okay, well, let's see if the text that we generated actually follows the level. So I'm going to copy this one and go to text analyzer. Okay, and then the title will just reading. Okay, and then you can analyze text. Okay, and then all right, B1. Okay, so A2 to B1. All right, so you can download the PDF, and the PDF will come with these details. Okay, again, this is free. The next time you want to analyze the level of a text for your students. Okay, now let's do it again, but this time we'll try with something that I see is somehow still difficult for teachers to find. Okay, we're going to create our own listening resources. Okay, so again, I will start with the dot learners. I will go with language skills. I will go with listening this time because we're going to generate listening script. Okay, and then let's say my students, well, they are lower level because it's harder to find lower level listening resources, especially if it's authentic. So I have this A2 to A2 plus adult learners learning listening. Okay, so we have can recognize phrases and contents, can identify simple information in a short video, can extract key factual information such as prices, times, and dates. Okay, I'll go with this for now because it's detailed with prices, times to show how it will work with the AI chatbot. Okay, and then we go back to ChatGPT and I will just continue with this chat. Okay, I'm not going to start over. Okay, this is iterative prompting. So every time you continue chatting with your chatbot, okay, and you have like similar objective, as example, creating material, you don't have to create new chat. You can just continue your chat. So because they know the context already, you want to use this chat for or to create lessons or materials. Okay, this time, again, I will copy this one. This time I will not need to put the numbers or the levels. I'll just leave it with learning objectives. Okay, again, we would like to have listening resources. So we're going to start with listening script. Okay, create a listening script following this learning objective. Okay, and let's see. Okay, so we have several listening script. We have announcement 1, announcement 2. Okay, hello passengers, because the objective is extract key factual information such as prices, times, and dates. Simple announcements, so it comes with announcements. Again, you want to check if the output is aligned with your learning objective. Okay, so we have several announcements here, and I will just choose one with the most numbers. Okay, all right, I think this one. We have time, we have price, we have location. So I'm going to copy this. Okay, and this time we'll move on to AI Studio. Okay, again, please let me know in the chat if you are familiar with this one, if you have ever used AI Studio to create listening resources or to generate audio. Yes or no? So the name is Google AI Studio. Hey, no, I'm so proud that you're here because this will be very useful for you. Again, if you're teaching English or teaching other languages, or if you design materials. So again, you can just click this when you get my slide, and it will direct you to the website. Okay, so again, this is from Google. This is free with some limitation. Okay. The purpose of this tool is to generate speech or audio. Google doesn't sound like robot. Let me show you if it sounds like robot, okay? All right, so this is not Google text-to-speech. Well, it's Google text-to-speech, but it's not the Google Translate text-to-speech, okay? So in this tool, you can create up to 2 speakers. Later, we will also, after this, we will create a conversation audio. But for now, let's start with a monologue, which is announcement. So you can choose it here, single speaker audio or multi-speaker audio. So let's start with single speaker audio. So here we already have a generated script according to the learning objective for A2 listening, okay? And you can prompt the instruction. Let me zoom in, okay? And let me just close this one, okay? Read aloud in a warm and friendly tone. So read aloud as an announcement, okay? So that's the prompt. That's how you set the style, okay? Read aloud as an announcement, well, in British accent, okay? Right, we'll try different accents, okay? Well, let's start with British accent. And you can choose the voice. So, okay, let me check if I share my audio. Okay, I share my audio. So you can choose different voices.
Ready to build something awesome today?
Got a project in mind?
Okay, you have, well, I think almost 20 voices that you can choose. I'll just pick randomly, and then we can click run control, and then they will try to generate the audio. And what we need to do is to wait. Again, this is free. You can generate up to 2 speakers, but again, you will need to create your own script because they can provide script, but it might not be the script that you want. Okay, so you will need
Good evening. The community English call.
Okay, let me replay. Okay, listen carefully. Listen carefully.
Good evening. The community English course will begin on Monday, April 6th. Classes are every Monday and Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. The course fee is 300,000 rupiah per month. To register, please come to room 2 before this Saturday.
Okay, do we have friends from the UK today? Can you confirm if this accent is familiar to your ears? Okay, please say yes. Which one is better? Google as 11 Lab is not free. This one is free. 11 Lab can be better, but again, it's not free. Okay, can you say yes if you could hear that? Okay, yeah, sounds good, right? Sounds good. Now, I will use Indonesian accent. Okay, Indonesian accent. Not only it's an Indonesian accent, I will make it bold Indonesian accent, okay? Right. Thank you, Clement. Thank you, Vina, yeah, and Rachel. Now let's say we can have Indonesian accent so I can confirm it's an Indonesian accent. However, the thing is that every time you generate an audio, you have to download it. You cannot save it here because if you refresh the
Good
page...
evening.
Wait. Okay. Fellow Indonesian, let's see. Okay, let's listen.
Good evening. The Community English course will begin on Monday, April 6. Classes are every Monday and Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. The course fee is 300,000 rupiah per month.
Okay, you heard that rupiah? Oh my goodness, that's Indonesian. So it's like Latino. Okay, all right. So yeah, we love our accents. Okay, we love our accents. So we can generate different voices, different accents, and different languages. Okay, different languages. Yes, you can use it. So not only English. Okay, so if you paste like as example Indonesian, you can also the pronoun R is very pronounced correct. That's Indonesian, Clement. Rupiah. Okay, good. So that's announcement. That's a monologue. Again, if you I will use this audio, and then you click download. Okay, make sure that you click download because every time you click run control, it will generate new voice. Okay, so you have to download it, save it, play it later. Okay, this is Google AI Studio. Okay, you will get it on my slide. Okay, now let's generate the different one. Let's generate the conversation. Okay, so we might want to search for learning objective that is a conversation. So here we have dialogues, simple dialogue spoken slowly. So copy this one. Okay, now create a listening script. Right? Following this learning objective. Okay, say, okay, we have hi Rina, and then, okay, so my ChatGPT uses Indonesian names because I set it in my personalization. So if you know that in ChatGPT you can set your profile and then it can learn more about you. Sounds scary somehow, but it can benefit you if you do more work using these AI tools. Again, safeguarding yourself and your students. Okay, so we have Andi Pratama, Indonesian name. Okay, Maya, that's, well, Indonesian people also use Maya's name, but I know it's also popular in different countries and languages. Well, I think this one is a good one, doctor's appointment. So I will copy this, okay, and go back to the AI Studio, and this time we'll go for multi-speaker audio. Okay, using Google AI Studio, the content is from ChatGPT, correct? Okay, so for multi-speaker audio, first you will need to paste your script, okay? And then you see no speakers detected. Please ensure your script speakers' names are also set in the right sidebar. So if you go with multi-speaker audio, you have to choose the characters, or you have to create the characters. So as example, speaker one, because speaker one here is A, so I'll put A. Okay, so we have A. Okay, and then we go for B. Okay, so we have A, B, A, B. And then you put your instruction here, your style instruction. Okay, a conversation between, well, let's say a conversation at a doctor's office. Okay, so according to this conversation, I like to make a doctor's appointment. So A is Indonesian because A is Andi Pratama. Okay, speaker A uses Indonesian accent. Okay, speaker B uses, well, let's say Singaporean accent, right? Singaporean accent, or as we know as Singlish. Again, this is the way that I, really support language variations. And it's not only about English, it's global Englishes, and how great that this tool can help us introduce different way English is used globally. Okay, so, well, let's say because Andy is a male's name, so I will need to choose male's voice. Okay, I will choose.
Got a project in mind?
Okay, I'll just choose that for now. And then let's say to make it distinct, the other one will be a female.
What sparks your interest?
What kind of masterpiece
Okay, let's choose this one. Okay, and then we run control. And we wait. Again, so what you need to do is you set your style instructions, and then you have to paste your script, and then you have to make sure your script has something like this.
Hello, I'd like to make a doctor's appointment.
Sure, the doctor is free on Thursday
In the morning or afternoon?
at 3:30 p.m.
That's good.
Can I have your name, please?
It's Andi Pratama.
Okay, Andy. See you on Thursday at 3:30.
Hello.
Okay, I don't think that's Indonesian, but let's say that's AI for you. Okay, or you as example, you don't want to use accent. You'll just follow the voice, so you can just a conversation at the doctor's office, and then you can run, and then you can get another audio generated. Again, this is free. Remember that every time you generate an audio and you think, okay, I will use this audio, make sure you download it. Okay, because if you leave the page or refresh the page, you will
Hello?
lose your audio.
I'd like to make a doctor's appointment.
Sure, the doctor is free on Thursday
In the morning or afternoon?
at 3:30 p.m.
That's good.
Can I have your name, please?
Okay, well, sounds good to me, but again, the more details that you put, as example, you want them to speak faster, you want them to speak slower, you can just put it there. Okay, a conversation at doctor's office, they speak slowly or they speak faster, or they are in a hurry, they're in an emergency. So it's based on your prompt. That's why we learned or we experimented with the say what you say. So you really need to give an expectation, okay, or the output that you want to get. So again, this is free. This is Google AI Studio for you who wants to generate audio. Okay. Now let's move on to vibe coding. This is getting interesting. So let's say, again, in the chat, if you're familiar with vibe coding, if you know what vibe coding is. Not yet, not yet. Okay. Okay, awesome. So glad that you're here. Very little. Let's see, Hamad, let's make it big. So vibe coding is simply you code with AI without coding skills. This has annoyed a lot of programmers these days, but a lot of programmers, they also know that they can do vibe coding. For us teachers, we can benefit from vibe coding to create apps for our students. So there are different tools where you can do vibe coding. My favorite is is Gemini. ChatGPT can do this, but for some reason I prefer how Gemini does it. Okay, so if you use Gemini, I believe that you're familiar with tools. So if you go to Gemini, make sure that you turn on this one, Canvas. Okay, Canvas, and then you know that you can choose the model that you use. Okay, I'll go with Pro. Well, I subscribe to Gemini because I use it like a lot for materials design. Okay, so what we need to do here is a lesson. Okay, is a lesson. Well, let's say we go back to a lesson that we have had, okay, that we created using ChatGPT, or you can just create it with Gemini, but because we already have one from ChatGPT, I will just copy this lesson. But again, in your case, you want to recheck this, okay? Make sure you do that. And then we go to Google Gemini, and then we say this, create, I will make it very specific, code, okay, digital, interactive worksheet, okay, for this lesson. I use column, but I don't think it actually, useful, but okay, so I have this prompt, a simple prompt. So the keyword is that you want to code, the keyword is that you want to create something, as example, digital interactive worksheet. And then you have to turn on the Canvas feature. ChatGPT has Canvas feature, Cloud also has, I think the name is Artifact, okay? But because I'm subscribing to Gemini, so I'll demonstrate using Gemini. And then we click submit, and then we wait. You can do this with PDF. As example, you have a lesson in a PDF that you created, and then you can just upload your PDF file and then say create an interactive worksheet or create a website using this PDF from this PDF. However, one thing that I want you to be aware is that whether you are allowed to, modify your lesson. As example, if it's copyrighted by a publisher, I wouldn't recommend. You might want to search for a clarification. But if you create your own worksheet, you can do this. Why teachers would do coding? I don't understand. That's a good question. That's a good question. Okay, let's see why. Okay, so we have coding here. For those who are familiar with coding, it uses React. I prefer HTML. My website uses HTML. Most websites use HTML. But if you create apps, you might want to use React. But you don't have to worry much about it, because what we're going to get is the final output. Okay, we're going to wait for now. Okay, if you have any questions or ideas that you want to share, kindly put it in the chat. I know I'm running late in duration. Okay, so it will start coding for you. So that's a good statement why teachers would need to code. You don't. The AI will code for you. That's why we call it vibe coding, and we'll see the benefit of this, or what we can benefit from this feature. Okay, it might take some time, so I will just show you an example, and you can. Okay, it's done. So you can get this. This is why. Okay, so you can turn your static lesson, as example PDF, into an app like this. And then you can click share. You can share the link with your students, or maybe do it in your class. Okay, so you can have something like this. So let me also share the link in the chat. You can click that link and it will direct you here. Okay, so you have this. We have match the rule, true or false, other instruction. Okay, and then we can click read text, and then, okay, it has the text. Okay, and then we can, okay, so I can check answers. I got it wrong. Okay, but let's say if I answer some, and then, okay, but again, in the real practice, you want to check this. So this is the benefits of doing vibe coding, is that you can transform your static lesson or worksheet usually into an interactive ones like this. You can share it with your students, and then you can also maybe show it on your projector, and then you can make it more somehow interactive rather than static paper. Okay, I have seen a lot of innovations or creative ideas. So as example, you can create vocabulary snack and ladder game. You can create like spinning wheels, grammar game, and so on and so on. So it will create, or it will code it for you, and then it will be an instant app. Okay, and then you can use it, share it with your students. Again, you will have to make sure that you can use this. Okay, so the sole purpose of the vibe coding is that you want to bring life into your static worksheet into something more, digital. Can we use the link forever? Yes. Can we record their scores? Not yet. That's the problem. That's the problem. So if you don't have your own LMS, unfortunately, no. So this will only act as worksheet, literally. So unfortunately, you cannot record your score, except you can do more experiment, and then you embed it. Can we use this way to take quizzes, correct? But you cannot record the score. That's the thing. The thing is that you might want to experiment more on how you can record the score. Okay. So let's open the file again. Okay. Okay. So because you cannot record the score, the idea that I tried is that, okay, create a submit score button, or also let's say create a report button, okay, to show the overall score. Okay, so again, if you rely on the canvas, you cannot see the score. Okay, but if you can experiment with more coding, which will need more coding, okay, you can do. Or if you have like an IT department, like you can create your own app, let your IT department that I would like to connect this code into the LMS. It's possible. Okay, I believe so, because I've experimented with it with my own website, but again, it will need more extensive coding skill. So my answer for now is no, you cannot record the answer. This will act as worksheet replacement in terms of interactivity. Okay, I guess it gives you seat beside the apps. Yes, yes. The problem with Canva is that you will need a subscription. Well, if you have like the Edu account, yes, but if you don't have the Edu account, you cannot work with the coding in Canva. But for Gemini, even though you use free account, you can still have this feature with limitation. So it's still possible to use this feature with some limitation. Let me show you apps that I've created. So, okay, because I have my own website, I code it here and then I put it into my website. So I created this complete course for English for learning and development professional. Again, I create the materials first and then I ask the AI to make the app, the Gemini to make the app. So you see web session 1, session 2, session 3, okay, and then I also embed this launch module. So if I click launch module, it will launch the module, which I created this module also using Vibe coding. Okay, so there might be more explorations that you can do, but this is the tools that you can try to experiment with. Okay, thank you, Clement. Thank you for joining. Okay, so that's Google AI Studio. Okay, now, yeah, I'm running late on time. So now let's move on to another skill. Another language skills that I think can be very, assisted by AI is speaking. Okay, so have you ever used AI tools to let your students practice their speaking, or maybe to speak with you or to speak with your students? What AI have you used for speaking? Okay. While waiting for your answers, I will just go directly to Copilot. Well, Copilot is an AI by Microsoft. I believe a lot of you are familiar with it. What I like about Copilot is the interaction that it can, provide in terms of voice. So if you use Copilot, which is free with a Microsoft account, you can use it on your phone, like you can install the app, or on your computer. You can click on this microphone button and then.
Hello, Fudgeridden.
Hi, I'm currently having a workshop on how we can use AI to support speaking practice for language learners.
Oh, that's a fantastic initiative. Using AI for language learners, especially for speaking practice, can be a game changer. It really opens up a world where students can have conversations anytime, any place, and get that real-time feedback. So tell me, what's one specific feature you're hoping to incorporate into your AI tool?
I want you to speak slowly, and I want you to give one idea how you can help students practice their speaking.
Absolutely, I'll slow it down a bit. One simple but powerful idea is to set up AI-driven role-play scenarios where students can practice ordering food in a restaurant, or checking into a hotel, or maybe even a job interview simulation. That way they get to rehearse real-life situations in a safe, supportive environment. What kind of...
Okay, and there are many creative ideas that you can use in the class using AI voice mode. One idea that I knew was that, as example, if you are in your classroom using projector, you can like show the AI, like Copilot, on a projector, and then make it like a role play, like interview role play. Okay, so you can first prompt the AI, as example, make the AI to play the role of a teacher or a business person, and then your students prepare questions for the AI. So that way you can use this in the classroom. Or let's say if your students have access to devices and they are allowed to use AI themselves, they can pretty much practice with scenarios. So there are many prompts that you can search online and you can create yourself to make the AI voice, okay, feasible to use with your students. And what's good about it is that every time you use the AI voice mode and you finish your conversation, you can get your transcript. Okay, and this can work with different languages. Okay, so again, this is free, correct? Copilot is free. You can do this with ChatGPT. ChatGPT also has this feature. Okay, so you see, ChatGPT is also good. However, the voice is still more robotic compared to Copilot. Gemini can also do it if you do it on your phone. Okay, like you can use voice. I'm currently having a workshop on how to use AI in in supporting students to practice their speaking.
That sounds right up your alley. Are you looking for any particular ideas to share with your participants? Maybe tools, task designs, or strategies? Let me know what would help you fine-tune your workshop.
Okay, so for ChatGPT, when you do the conversation, they will have like live transcription. Okay, so this is free. Okay, you can use it for free. You will get my slides, no worries. I'm running out of time. Okay, now we have had so many tools which I believe you are eager to explore. However, I understand that not everyone can have the time to explore, especially teachers. How about storytelling? Yes, you can do that. You can use Google AI Studio actually to generate storytelling, or you can ask AI voice mode to do storytelling. So let's say if you are not ready prompting yourselves, okay, you can go to this one tool. This is from Trinity College London, which I believe a lot of you are familiar with. So Trinity College London. So say yes if you're familiar with Trinity College London. I know Hamed is a Deepti soul from Trinity. So Trinity College London has developed this AI lesson generator for English teachers, which is totally free. Okay, you can see my profile there. You can just click login or sign up, and then you can create an account, and then it will direct you to the app. Well, basically, this is like prompting, but you are guided on how you need to prompt. Okay, so you don't have to start from zero. This is like Magic School. I know that some of you are familiar with Magic School. However, I know that Magic School is like general to any subjects, but if you're an English teacher, this is your Magic School, okay, which is not like English. So the difference is that you can choose the CFR level, okay, or GSE or ISE, and then you have like your skills, speaking, writing, reading, or learning type, which is grammar, communication, and then so on and so on. Your students, how many students you have, and so on and so on. You can just follow the prompt guide, and then you will get your lesson. It comes with lesson plan, it comes with worksheet, and if you generate listening, it will also come with audio. Okay, so as example, if you go here, download, they will provide you with a Google Doc completes with the link to the worksheet, link to the worksheet answer, and links to a presentation. Okay, and then the lesson plan. Okay, this is again free, and you can use Vibe coding to generate app from the worksheet created by MATLAB English. Okay, and then you can also go with this Pearson Smart Lesson Generator. This is not free, but you can get like 2 months demo. How about practice IELTS speaking? Well, you can do it with AI Copilot, but I don't recommend scoring, okay? AI can be good for simulation, but I don't recommend scoring. Okay, so this one is not free, but you can get 60-day demo access to Pearson Smart Lesson Generator, similar to Trinity College London, in case you want to explore more tools. Okay, so if you want to get more recommendations, you can click this later on, and then you will be directed to an AI chatbot that I customized, which you can interact with to ask for tips on how to use AI. Okay, so that's my presentation for now. If you want to connect with me, I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram. You can also search my name on Google. Okay, you can search my name on Google, or you can ask ChatGPT. Okay, and then yeah, I'm very open to collaboration with your school or institutions who want to leverage educational technology in teaching, especially language teaching. And tomorrow is my birthday. So I would like to give you more resources. So in my slides, you will find these free resources and professional development courses. So when you click it, it will direct you to more professional development opportunities where you can get certificate, course certificate, and they are free. Microsoft, Google, and so on and so forth. Okay, thank you very much. And oh yeah, before I forgot, so I remember that I have to wait up. I have to show this screen to you to show you how you can get your certificate. Thank you everyone. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Okay. So for those who want to get the certificate, as Winnie mentioned in the beginning, you can scan this QR code and you can purchase your certificate. This is optional, once again. But you really support me and also this Singapore Education Network team in continuing this initiative. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you. So again, you can scan this QR code, or you may also need to create your own account if you want to get a purchase the certificate. How can I access the resources? The SEND team will send you a follow-up email along with the resources that I shared. But well, in case you want to get it now, you can just click this link right now. I put in chat, or you can just reach out to me, okay, on LinkedIn, in case you miss it. Okay, that's my slide. Okay, that's my slide. Okay, and that's the infographic. Okay, and then please, if you willing to fill in this feedback form so we know what we can do better for the SEND team and also for me, okay, for our next learning opportunities. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I think we can have. So what do you think, Winnie? Should we have the discussion session?
Hi. Firstly, let me thank you on behalf of everyone in the Zoom that it's a very fruitful and enriching session. A lot of takeaways for me personally. So I hope that the rest of the participants found it useful for them, bits and pieces that they can immediately, apply into their classroom. I've already cooked up some lessons for the next week based on some of the AI tools that you have recommended. So thank you very much. Do you have time? If let's say the rest of the participants do still have some questions, give us a thumbs up so that Fajar can gauge if you would still like a few more minutes of Q&A.
Okay, so I think we can have questions. Like you can raise your hand and then you can unmute it or put it. Hey, I think
Fajar, your sharing must have been very clear, and you have actually posted so many of the links for resources to what you have shared that I think most of the participants seem to be very confident.
yes.
And do you want to also share your LinkedIn
Oh yeah. So
access so that they can actually
if you want to connect with me, you can go to my portfolio website, and then at the very bottom you can connect with me on Facebook. I'm on Facebook, and also LinkedIn. Or if it's too difficult for you, you can just search Fajaruddin Akbar on Google. You will find me. Okay. So I think we can wrap up. Thank you very much, teachers, for joining us. Thank you, Namo. Yes, looking forward to more learning opportunities. Thank you to the Singapore Education Network team organizing this session and allowing me to have this opportunity. Any more information, Winnie, from the SAM team?
No, actually, I think we have provided the links for any follow-ups that the participants would need to go through. So I think we are good for now too.
Okay.
All right, so I thank you again on behalf of all the participants, and do enjoy your birthday tomorrow. And for those of you still on board with us, do look out and visit SEN's website for more upcoming workshops, and cast your votes on the ones that you would like us to actually host. Yeah? All right.
Thank you everyone. Thank you. Have a nice evening.
Bye.
Have a nice weekend later on. Take care. Keep in touch. Bye.
So, Fajar, I will also follow up with you later through SEN, and then, like I say, have a great birthday tomorrow.
Sure.
Or in a few hours.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Closing the meeting. Bye. Take care.
Bye.